Prepping the garden for spring is so much fun. Or not. It just depends on how heavy a work we're doing. So here I have a lot of compression of the soil, so I need to add more soil since it's low. And then you can add your fertilizer. So fertilizer comes in lots of different forms. You've got compost, you've got vermiculture, which is worm poop. You've got powder fertilizers, which is what we're going to use today. And you've got liquid fertilizers, which I think are the easiest to work with. But we're going to go with what we have today, which is this stuff over here. And so I've added my dirt, and now what? Well, on this bag here of this BioLive all natural fertilizer, this one's a 542. The BioLive 542 all natural fertilizer by Down to Earth is OMRI listed and contains 5% nitrogen, 4% phosphate, and 2% potash. You use 5 pounds for every 100 square feet of garden, and you mix it thoroughly into the top 3 inches of soil. If you want to use it in new plantings, you add 1/4 to 1/2 cup per gallon of soil and mix it in thoroughly, and that's how you do your whole planting. And you can use it on trees as well. This is a wonderful product, which I highly recommend. So you can use this stuff for small plantings, or you can use it for big plantings. And because I just added a bunch of dirt, I'm going to mix in this fertilizer into the soil. Now, over here, I'm just going to add it to the individual places where I'm planting my transplants. I'm going to open this up with some scissors to make it easier to store, because you're not going to use it all. And you want to keep this in a dry environment. You don't want to keep this kind of fertilizer outdoors. So for me, I'm just going to mix them in like this. And you got to be careful when you got your winds going, so you don't smother your cameraman. So I'm going to get in here, try to make as few steps as possible just so I can keep this arid, and really mix this in. And then I'm going to be able to plant my seeds here. I'm going to plant some sunflower seeds here, some cosmos, and some other really lovely flowers. Now, for this garden bed, I'm going to probably do a little bit better job mixing it in here, but that was just to show you. And then over here, I'm going to take an individual plant and plant it with the fertilizer. So I'll make a hole the size of the plant, and you're going to want to add about 1/4 cup to the hole. So let me actually get a measuring cup. This one's a 1/2 cup, so I'm gonna do 1/4 cup, which is about half of this cup here. So you just line the hole with your solid fertilizer or your powdered fertilizer, and then you kind of want to stir it in a little bit. Just make sure that the roots aren't touching the fertilizer directly. Just work it into the hole. Work it into the hole. And this is the most non-invasive way to plant things in your garden, is to just fertilize each hole where you're planting. And so that'll be nice and balanced for this flower here. And that's pretty much how you do it, whether you're doing it big or you're doing it small. You just read the directions on the back of the bag and apply accordingly. And that's a very easy way to get your garden up and going.
You just use some bag of dirt and some powdered fertilizer, and you'll be good to go. And just depending on what you're planting, if you're planting something very specific, maybe look up exactly what type of powdered fertilizer it needs. Some plants like bone more, some plants like blood more. There's just a variety of fertilizers, and this brand Down to Earth is really good because they have a lot of different types of fertilizers you can choose from.
The composition of this fertilizer is made of fish bone meal, fish meal, alfalfa meal, crab meal, shrimp meal, and langbellnite and kelp meal. No cats were harmed in the making of this fertilizer.
Okay, so it's nitrogen, phosphate, and potash, which is potassium ash. So it's like when you burn your banana peels and they become ash. That's potassium ash, potash. So we've got 5% nitrogen, 4% phosphate, and 2% potash, and that's what these numbers mean. So you want to look for the right balance for the type of things that you're growing, because some things like a lot less fertilizer, like potatoes and carrots, they like a little bit less fertilizer so that their root system can grow, which is essentially the vegetable that you want. Because if you over fertilize plants, you might get some big beautiful blooms at the top but not get a good root vegetable for you at the bottom. So just be really careful when applying fertilizer. Less is more. It is always much better to apply less fertilizer than apply more, and then you possibly could kill your plant with using too much fertilizer. So that is all I've got for you today. I am the Brainy Bee, and so are you if you're here. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll have some more for you as the spring unfolds. Peace, happy harvest.